to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks.
So excited, ladies, because first,
What does it mean just to be back here in Nashville after a year hiatus?
Yeah, it's definitely good to be back. It's unfortunate we couldn't come here last year for the banquet and, show fans a good time and the teams a good time. So it's really nice to be back. I think this makes it even more special because we were, like you said, on hiatus for a year. So last night was tons of fun, doing burnouts on Broadway. That's always great. When are you ever going to be able to do that without getting arrested? And it was encouraged last night. So it was a lot of fun, and hopefully everyone who came out for it enjoyed it too.
Yeah. And then tonight, just kind of a culmination of a successful year for NASCAR, do you think?
Yeah. It's I would say the only person who is having a ton of fun at the banquet is the champion. But I enjoy being here. You appreciate your season that you had, and you appreciate your competitors, and it gives you extra motivation to be up on stage next year.
Sure. And lastly, just Nashville in general, like the possibility in the future of having not one but two races back here. How big is that?
I hope it happens. It's got my vote all day, every day. So it's great that we got to the super speedway, this year, and hopefully, from what I've been hearing, it'd be nice to get back to the fairgrounds too. So we'll see. But I think it's great for the sport. It's great for the town of Nashville, and the fairgrounds are right down the road. So, gosh, I think it would be a great weekend for everybody, not only the drivers, but the fans to come out and watch and make a weekend out of it with your family and things like that. So, got my vote all the time.
Well, a little different topic than last night. Just kind of what does it mean to be here and knowing, you're the rookie of the year, so you're going to be up there and toasted and celebrated?
Yeah, it's cool. This is my first Cup banquet, so it's something that's really special. Never in a million years would have thought I would even race a single race in the Cup Series, and now to be Rookie of the Year is pretty cool. So just been enjoying the last couple of days here in Nashville. It's a super fun city, and looking forward to tonight and hanging out. It's having a good time.
Yeah, I was asking some of the other guys too that in the next couple of years the potential for not just one but two NASCAR races here. How cool is that?
It's super cool. I think it's a really great market for us and what we do. It's close to home where we're all based out of, and just the heart of the Midwest, truthfully. So I think there's a lot of fans that obviously came out to the Nashville Super Speedway. I think that a second race would be well received, especially at the fairgrounds. That's where it goes. So I'm all for more races in Nashville. It's a fun city for us, and just it's easy to get to as well.
Cool. And lastly, hoping this year was kind of a springboard of success to come?
Yeah, hopefully. This year was definitely a down year from where we wanted it to be, but still, able to come away with a little bit of something. And, next year it's back to a clean slate with everybody with a new car, so excited for that.
Yeah, it really is, Tracy. It's great because it's here. It's great because it returns to Nashville after a year off because of COVID. So it's fantastic. A perfect way to end up in Champions Week here in the Music City as all the best drivers in the world in the sport of NASCAR come here to get their awards. They had the burnouts last night. This evening they pick up some hardware. And joining me now is the McDowell family. Michael McDowell, Daytona 500 winner, and his wife, Jamie. Thanks for joining us. And how cool is this?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Last night kicking it off with burnouts downtown in the middle of the streets is a lot of fun, and it's been a fun week, just to enjoy it, take it all in, and celebrate the champions tonight. It's special to be a part of it and be a part of the championship 16. So it's my first time here. We're taking it in, enjoying it, and it's been a lot of fun.
Very good. Jamie, I have to ask, as the wife of a NASCAR driver, it's on the road all the time, huh?
Yeah, a lot of travel, chasing this guy around the country. So I've been doing it for many years, and it's our life, and we love it.
Fantastic. Well, the big topic du jour around here is the possibility of the fairgrounds getting another NASCAR race in the near future. What do you think about the possibility of not one but two NASCAR races coming back to the Mid-State?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. The fairgrounds, kind of the grassroots of our sport, getting back to those short tracks, and I think it's really important to reconnect with those fans and bring back some of that old school feel to NASCAR for sure.
Awesome. Well, both of you enjoy the night. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All righty. The NASCAR Awards kick off at about 5 o'clock tonight. We're going to talk to some more people coming across the red carpet. Again, a fun week. It's Champions Week for NASCAR, and as you said, Tracy, a great way to put a bow on the NASCAR season. We're live downtown. I'm Chris Harris for News 4 Nashville. Well, I just got to ask you, what is this like? After a year off, we were talking to some people how it's nice to be back and have this. What do you think?
Yeah, it's so rewarding to be able to have a banquet. You know, it's a great way to kind of cap the year off, and it's fun to be able to see everybody. We haven't been to the racetrack in a number of weeks now, so to be able to see all the faces again and, you know, remind us that it's coming back up.
Yeah. Gotta ask, what's it feel like kind of as an up-and-comer in the race, in the sport? I mean, you see all the guys that you've looked up to and watched for years and years, and now you're trying to make your bones here. What's that like?
Yeah, it's just really special. You know, I will never forget the first Cup race that I participated in was the duel at Daytona in 2020. And just getting in the car and seeing all those iconic cars. I think Denny was beside me and Joey Logano, and, you know, seeing the FedEx 11 and the Pennzoil 22. It's like, you know, wow, I raced against those cars, or I watched them on TV for so long, and now here I am racing against them. So it was very eye-opening and very fortunate to get to do what I do. And, you know, I try and enjoy every minute, every moment, every race, and hopefully I'm able to do this for years to come.
Yeah. How do you feel about your trajectory going right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. You know, year 2 was definitely an improvement from year 1, but there's a long way to go. So got to make it to year 3, 4, 5.
Always is. We've been asking some of the drivers here about, you know, the possibility of the fairgrounds opening up here again, and Nashville having not 1 but 2 races. What do you think about that? Do you know much about the Fairgrounds Speedway out here?
So you asked me how many times I've been here. I actually forgot that I raced at the fairgrounds a number of years ago. So I've always thought that it would be a super cool Cup venue if they could ever pull it off, so I'm super excited about it.
I've been asking people, you know, what does it mean to be back here after a year off, hiatus, getting to come back and do all this again?
It's a blast. I mean, we missed everyone, you know, in the way that we were gone for a year. She was like, oh, remember last year? I was like, no, it was a couple of years ago. Just with COVID and everything, it's neat to see the fraternity back together, and all of us have a bigger smile on our face and more of an appreciation for the year end.
And how is it just being in Nashville for this help kind of put a bow on a successful NASCAR season?
It's like icing on the cake because we raced here this year. It's the same feel as going to Vegas for so many years, and then New York has a couple tracks around it. When you have that community vibe already and come back and celebrate, it's like you're seeing old friends.
Sure. So also asking some of the guys, the best part about tonight, you mentioned about just seeing some people and stuff. I mean, just getting to hang out and enjoy yourself and kind of decompress. Is that what it's all about?
You know, I stopped at a coffee shop, grabbed a cup of coffee, and I saw Logano on a scooter today. Keselowski was on his phone walking down the street. Perfect weather, great town, and again, like the party vibe is there, but then just the relaxation of a nice community.
I asked you this morning, but I want to ask you again just about the possibility of there being 2 NASCAR races here in the near future. Is that a good thing for the sport?
Ooh, I like it. You know, it's, again, a matter of that charisma and that sellout feel. So Nashville did great this year with selling out, and with the short track, I don't know how many fans it'll have for capacity-wise, but again, our sport continues to evolve and change, and our cars are great at adapting to anything now.
What does it mean to be here? You know, they had the year hiatus last year because of COVID, and now this kind of puts a bow on a successful NASCAR season for everyone.
Well, for me personally, you know, it's cool to be here, but certainly when you go to the banquet or the awards and, you know, you're celebrating a 13th place finish in the playoffs, that's not necessarily, you know, what we're here to do. So it's cool to celebrate, you know, Kyle, the other champions, the other series. But certainly, I'd say for tonight, as everyone celebrates, especially above me, it's going to be more about, you know, kind of frustrating me and motivating me to do better next year.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you that. Like, yeah, you kind of use it to fuel for the fire, kind of as a springboard for next year?
Yeah, instead of, you know, sitting there depressed, you finish 13th, and you know all these other drivers finish ahead of you. Turn into something that you can use to motivate yourself.
Very good. You know much about Nashville? Spent much time here? What do you think?
I haven't been here. Well, I was here 2 years ago. Obviously, you know, I mentioned the hiatus, but I did spend a lot of time here as a little kid growing up. You know, family in the music business. So I haven't really spent time like I have this time around in 4 or 5 years. So it's certainly changed a lot, but it's still Nashville.
Yeah. Well, knowing Nashville like you do, like, what do you think about the NASCAR scene here and how it's growing and the potential that they're going to have not 1 but 2 NASCAR races in the future here? What do you think?
I think it's great. You know, it's a great place to be. The world of country music and the world of NASCAR, different as they may be, you know, there's some parallels, and I think it's a great place to have racing. So the more that we can come here, the better, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. It really is cool to see.
What does it mean to be back here after a year hiatus and kind of put a bow on a season?
It's definitely good to be back anyways, and just having the opportunity to celebrate another year and being in the sport and having an opportunity to go race, do what we love to do, and celebrate a champion. Unfortunately, it's the wrong Kyle, but maybe next year.
Yeah, you guys taking bets on who heckles him the most or anything like that tonight?
Well, Boyer's not around, so, probably one of his teammates, I'd imagine.
Very good. What's the best thing about tonight and what it represents?
I think obviously just the hard work and dedication of everybody that it takes, whether it's the drivers, the owners, the crew chiefs, the team members, especially the NASCAR officials as well. It's the culmination of a year, and we all come here to kind of celebrate that and put a bow on it, like you said.
Yeah. I asked you this morning, but I want to ask you again, what does the future of NASCAR in this city look like to you?
I mean, obviously it would be super cool to get back to the short track and continue to race at the big track with as good as a show I felt like we put on there this year. So all that included, and whether or not the banquet stays or goes or whatever, I mean, I think it's been fun to be here with that. And, I mean, I remember being years in New York City where it's snowing and freezing cold, and here we walked over and it was sun shining, so it felt good.
Awesome. What does tonight mean to you? It kind of puts a bow on the NASCAR season for everyone?
Yeah, it's cool to be here. Obviously, rather be at the big table on stage, but really happy for Hendrick Motorsports and everybody on the 5 team. Congrats to them, and glad to have had a solid year.
Good. I was asking some of the other drivers, just kind of Nashville's place on the NASCAR scene clearly seems to be growing. What do you think about that?
Yeah, who doesn't love Nashville, right? So it's always great to be here. Always really enjoy coming here, and just appreciative for the hospitality.
Yeah. What's the best thing about Champions Week? Yeah, the burnout out here and getting to hang out with some people that you know and love. What do you think?
Yeah, just the fact that I feel like Nashville being a smaller town than other places we've had this in the past, it seems like we all kind of hang together all week. So cool to get to spend some time with guys that we wouldn't normally just hang out with.
It's kind of a dumb question when I ask anyways. You didn't win this year, so obviously, that's the goal every year. But are you proud of some of the things that you did do this year?
Yeah, winning 4 races was great. So obviously wish we win a championship, but 4 races is pretty special too.
Well, what does it mean to have this here this year after a year off last year?
I think it's awesome. It's such a big deal just for our whole industry to come together and celebrate another great season. So unfortunately we were second, not first, but still a successful year. A lot to be proud of, obviously, and man, we came close.
Yeah, definitely. And you've been doing this for a while, so I'm curious, how do you let that gnaw on you a little bit going into next year? How do you use that?
Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's good motivation, to try to come back and do one spot better. Unfortunately, 3 of the last 4 seasons we finished second, so it hurts a little bit, but it's also really, really hard to do. So looking forward to, next season, obviously, and coming back and trying to win another title.
Been asking some of the guys too about how Nashville is kind of on the up and coming for just being a NASCAR place and the potential of not 1 but 2 races here in the near future. What do you think about that?
I think it's great. I think we got a lot of fans out here in this area. Got a couple great racetracks here, and we need to use them.
Best thing about tonight?
Yeah, just celebrating and seeing everybody in a non-competitive environment. We go at it pretty hard, and it's just nice to see everybody having a good time and cutting loose a little bit.
Is Type A as all you guys are? Is it possible to be non-competitive at any time? Like, are you going to be throwing dice or cards or something in there?
When the show's over, we go again.
Just want to know what tonight kind of means and signifies as a successful NASCAR season for the sport and kind of puts a bow on everything here.
Yeah, it does. It wraps it up. It's usually been kind of right after the season where we've had a little gap, and it's great to culminate the whole season and into one night, and obviously honor the champions that we've got in our sport.
Yeah, and being here in Nashville, does that add a little something extra special maybe?
Yeah, it's a great town. It's a great town for us to be in for the awards, and we've been to several different cities, but this one's obviously welcomes us and really well, and be able to go out on Broadway is very fun, and just an overall great city for our sport. Obviously coming back here and racing for first time in a very long time in the Cup Series was very, very, very fun. So I'm proud to be back.
Yeah, and the possibility in the near future of having not 1 but 2 races here with the fairgrounds coming back. Do you have a lot of history at the fairgrounds at all? Do you know much about it?
I've never raced there.
Really?
Oddly enough, I mean, as much short track racing as I've done during the course of my career, it's crazy. I've never actually been to the fairgrounds, but the people that said they've raced there said it's such a fun racetrack, and I'm glad to see it's getting the upgrades and the facilities to make it top notch.
One more thing, just the best thing about tonight?
Just kind of just the putting a button on the season. Season that was very, very successful for us. It's we need to take time to kind of look back at our season and say, how well it really went, and all that we accomplished. It really is it's a hard feat.
You've been doing this a long time. What drives you? What keeps driving you?
A lot of things keep driving me, but just being able to show up to the racetrack every week and win. That's something that it's hard to duplicate, is knowing that every time you hit the track, you're capable of winning.
What does tonight signify to you? I've been asking some of the guys, just kind of, puts a bow on a successful season for NASCAR.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a great season from a lot of different angles. You look at some of the new tracks we went to. We're here in Nashville, right? We went to Nashville Superspeedway again. That was a huge success when you saw the amount of fans there. I think everyone had a great time. Also bringing in Road America, COTA, and then obviously a eventful playoffs to end the season. Everything you would probably expect from a NASCAR season.
Yeah, and you mentioned Nashville too. I want to ask you about just kind of its role in the NASCAR scene over the last few years has continued to grow. In your opinion, is that a good thing for the sport, do you think?
Absolutely. I think going to new markets is so important, right? Like I said a minute ago, going to all these new racetracks is important. But coming to Nashville, I think we kind of realized that when we came here for the banquet a couple years ago, bringing the cars down Broadway and doing burnouts in front of, all the neon and the fans and it was great. And so we were able to do that again last night, which was a great time. I think that kind of opened our eyes and said, you know what? I think we probably should race here. I think it's been a good success for us.
Is NASCAR as a sport as competitive as it's ever been? Is it going through a renaissance, do you think, in that way?
I think so. I mean, in different ways, right? I mean, it's just like that in all sports, right? I mean, it just as you give people time to evolve, it seems like it just keeps getting closer and closer and closer. So, yeah, the competition's close. The advantages that you gain only last for a few weeks at a time as, teams just keep figuring it out one step after another.
What does tonight signify to you and to everyone here?
Yeah, it's just, obviously celebrating the champion number one, and, for the rest of us that didn't win, it's more about just having a good time and seeing a lot of the people that make our season go and make your career. So just I've enjoyed the week, enjoyed this town. I think the town enjoys having us too. So it's been fun, and looking forward to coming back to race in Lebanon here next summer, and hopefully we can get to the fairgrounds some point down the road.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that in a second, but I want to go back. Any good-natured heckling of the guy who won tonight, or how does that work?
No, I mean we've seen each other so much. I raced with him last week for 10 days, so I mean it's kind of, at this point it seems like old news, but no, genuinely happy for them. I mean Kyle and Cliff and that whole team did an incredible job. They were just rock solid all year. I mean, they never flinched, and that's a very difficult thing to do. So, extremely deserving champions. I'm extremely happy for them, and I look forward to racing against them next year head-to-head and try to be a little better.
Yeah. So when does the work begin on that, at going after number one?
Right now, we're working on it now, and we have tests and things scheduled. Obviously, we have a new car coming next year, so a lot of things are changing. And I think there's still a lot of unknowns too. So we're still working through a lot of that stuff, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a new year.
Yeah. You mentioned the fairgrounds. Why is it important for NASCAR to come back there?
I could talk about this for a long time, but it to me the fairgrounds is it's tied to our history. It's tied to my history, so it's kind of special to me because I came up here and raced when I was young and was getting started. And with the way the world works now and the way motorsports is, like, you're never going to build a track that close to a city ever again, and you're certainly never going to build one close to a city like this that's booming and growing. I just feel like it's the literal perfect storm for the best venue in the country, and it's sitting right here, like, ready to go. And it just blows my mind that there's anyone that doesn't want that. I certainly understand the pros and the cons, but as a race fan, I'm obviously biased, and I think we belong there, and I think it would be the support for that would be absolutely amazing. We saw it this summer with SRX, and just the energy that event brought for what it was great. I mean, imagine a NASCAR race there. I think it would be special, and
I think we could go race there in a respectful manner, be respectful of the people that live around there too. I get that. But I think there's a way to do it right and to make it a win for everybody involved.
Yeah, and have you seen the plans over there? I mean, the whole complex is going to get just a resurface remodeling with the soccer stadium and that over there. It could be a really cool venue.
Yeah, it could be a great venue, and it should be. It's got all the ingredients to be fantastic. So I'm, you're not going to find a bigger supporter than me than that. This town's great. That track is great, and I think everything about that would be a victory. So looking forward to it. I hope it goes through.
Well, what does tonight mean for you? You talked about yesterday how, it's kind of cool that everyone's here to celebrate you, I guess. What does that feel like?
Yeah, it's neat. Really just getting all the guys and gals here with our race team dressed up with their significant others, just to celebrate the season that we had. It means a lot. So looking forward to the next few hours here and thinking to hang out with them all tonight.
You prepared speeches, all that? Gimme, how do you prepare to be the guy who's kind of toasted and celebrated?
Yeah, I'll give a speech here later on. So a little bit nervous, but it'll be fun.
That's good. I know I asked you yesterday, but I kind of want to reaffirm here. Just what this puts a bow on a successful NASCAR season, not just for you, but for the sport as well. Can you kind of speak to that?
Yeah, definitely. It was a great season, and then it kind of tonight is the last of 2021. I feel like for the NASCAR season. So just ready to get it, the celebration on. Get to see all the competitors and all the partners from different teams and owners and stuff. So yeah, it should be a good time.
When does the work begin for next year?
I don't think it ever stops, honestly. I mean, you get time to relax, but I feel like your mind is still, at least my mind is always still on racing a little bit. So we'll enjoy the few weeks that I have off, and then I'll get back racing and try to do the best job as we can again next year.
Yeah. What do you think? Awards and Nashville, NASCAR, it all makes sense, right?
It really does. It just seems like a perfect fit. I mean, this town is so electric and so many, sports fans as well as big NASCAR fans. So, and country music and just music in general and entertainment. So, yeah, I think it goes hand in hand.
Yeah. You've obviously been around the sport all your life. What do you think of where it's at right now?
Oh, I love where it's at. I mean, I think especially through COVID, I thought NASCAR did an amazing job. The teams did of getting out there and doing it safely and putting on a great race. And I thought some of the racing this year was spectacular. So and then where the future's heading in not just in entertainment and in TV, but with this new car with Next Gen, it's very exciting.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I want to ask you about Kyle Larson. What do you think about his year? I mean, 10 wins is pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible what he's been able to do because it's not just the 10 wins on the Cup races and tracks. It's what he's done off on the dirt tracks and late models and sprint cars and midgets. And then, of course, to wrap it up with the championship, just like a total complete year. And that just goes to show you his dedication, talent, but also Cliff Daniels and Hendrick Motorsports and that team's abilities and to go put a great race team together.
How's life for you right now, man?
Good. Yeah, life is good. I'm enjoying getting myself into this new role. I'm going to miss TV next year. I really enjoyed, especially this year, working with Clint Boyer. It was a lot of fun, but I love being a part of the competition, part of a team that built my career.
Yeah.